Let me get back to the Pope. So the church, I would argue that the issue of some members of the clergy, I think it is a very big sacrifice. I think you lower the pool of potential priests and people that want to serve the church and serve their fellow man, but to ask them to give up sex, which is a natural inclination that even Jesus himself and the apostles and others recognized. It's better to get married than to burn, if you want me to use a biblical quote. It's just a very hard thing for anybody to give up. Part of the reason is financial. The church and priests got involved in marriage, then divorce would be inevitable in some cases, and as a result, then you've got property challenges to the church. So there's a financial motivation there. Church has a lot of property. The church has a lot of money. And I'm not questioning the Pope here, but if the church really believes in this model of legitimate redistribution of economic benefits, and he thinks it should happen from the state, I just question where this is all coming from. Because I think one of the messages of Jesus worked as a carpenter. His father was a carpenter. And unfortunately, I think these words are going to be used by those on the left. We have experienced the last 6 years the policies of redistribution. And what we have created is more people dependent on government, record numbers of people on welfare, on food stamps, record numbers of Americans in poverty. We have economic statistic after statistic. The people that have suffered most under stimulus plans and economic recovery plans and higher taxes are the very people that these redistributionists think and say that they're going to help and they have the most compassion for. And I think what is missing is, remember, God himself created the earth in 7 days. And he worked 7 days. And he worked 6 days and rested on the seventh. And he created, I think that's a model. Through the sweat of thy brow, thou wilt earn thy bread. Part of the human experience is you got to realize that life is not just all about yourself. And that part of maturity in life is that you've got to find some talents that you were born with and serve other people. Now, you can do it a lot of different ways. Maybe you give news and information and perspective that you're not going to find anywhere else on the radio and on TV. That's what I have found. I love doing it, but it's a service. If you're a waiter and a bartender, you're serving other people. If you're a carpenter or a builder, you are serving other people. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the server to be nice to you. Whatever you do that makes you money, you are providing goods and services for others. Now, human beings make choices in life. We can't forget this part. Human beings make choices. It's almost like between Obama and Western Europe and the former Soviet Union and the Chinese communists, it's like the world is turning against human initiative and accomplishment. And in other words, the politics of class, envy, resentment against those who make hard decisions in life. Like, for example, my team gets up every morning. Linda, very cranky. Lauren, very sweet. Jason, it depends. They get up every day. They shovel coffee down their throat. They walk their cats and dogs. They feed them. And then they race off to work, and they get here at, what time you get here? 8 o'clock, 8:30? Whatever. I'm not here till later. I do my work at home. And then I come in to the office, and when I come in, everything that I ever expect them to do is done. Now, if they didn't do that, they wouldn't have the benefits of working with somebody as nice and kind, as generous as me. No, but they're providing a service. They're helping to produce the show that we are delivering to you. We're providing a service. And it's like now we're creating the resentment of those who get up, make decisions, they go to school, they develop marketable skills, they decide to work, they make intelligent decisions, they find their God-given talents, they work hard, play by the rules, obey the laws, and now all of a sudden they're being hated, and they're being called greedy and selfish, and they're now being condemned, and we're celebrating mediocrity or laziness. Because if you think about it, who are we going to take the money from to redistribute to? I don't know any Kennedys. I know people that have money. I know people that are comfortable. I know people that are struggling. I know people that are poor. I know people that have come from nothing to make money in their lives. And in every case of anybody that I know that has money, with the exception of one person that used to work on my TV staff that was born rich. He's the only person I know. Every other person I know that has a nice car, a nice house, can afford to go to a restaurant occasionally, that can afford to send their kids to private school, that has anything decent in their life, and all my middle class friends that own homes or condos, and all my poor friends in terms of relatively speaking, they don't make a whole lot of money, but maybe they love what they do. I have friends of mine that are in the church. They make no money. I'm always trying to send them out for steaks. Give them a break. They usually don't want to take it. But the point is, everybody that has something earned it. I don't know anybody that has gotten something through ill-gotten gains. I don't know drug dealers. They exist. I guess you can argue they're providing a service to stupid people. But we are the sum total of every decision we make in our lives. There is a certain responsibility that every human being has. And the fact that some people decide to dedicate themselves through hard work and discipline, developing marketable skills and talents, and then bringing them to fruition, and then putting risk and hope for a reward, and then achieving the goal of the American dream, well, they end up already paying 40% of their income in taxes to the federal government. And then they pay their Social Security taxes, which will probably be stolen from my generation soon. And then they pay their state taxes. If you live in New York, that's another 9% chunk out of your pay. And then if you live in Nassau County, where I live, the second highest property tax county in the entire country, with Westchester being number one, both in New York. And then you pay taxes on everything else in between, county taxes. If you work in New York City, you pay New York City taxes. How is it that so many people think that it is moral and just to confiscate more and more of people's hard-earned money? The system is going to collapse because those people that are smart, that have developed disciplined good habits and are providing goods and services that people want, need, and desire, if you keep taking their money, you are going to stop them from doing what they do. The idea is to have an economic environment that is not stifled by your government. That means energy, drilling, fracking, coal mining, for example. You know, those that want to build houses, you don't destroy the economy through redistribution, and you don't disincentivize people through creating a national health care system and forcing companies to buy health insurance for part-time employees. They stop hiring them. All right, we got to take a quick break.